So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and in this video I'm going to be showing you every single Dr. Monty and Shadowman Wisp. These are going to be all of the Wisps you can find around the map that are direct quotes from Dr. Monty and the Shadowman. These are not in reference to the specific quotes that you get for certain characters, and that involves whatever character you're playing as finding a certain Wisp and getting a message there, and also when you go down, the Shadowman also gives your character its own quote as well. These are just all the Wisps that you can find around the map. This gives us a ridiculous amount of storyline information which we did not know before, including the fact that Richtofen knows a Shadowman extremely well. It's just a ton of amazing storyline goodness, and I'll be breaking this down over the next few days or so whilst we search for this main Easter egg, but I thought this would be a very interesting video for you all to enjoy. Now I want to give a massive shout out to Talam on YouTube for getting most of these Wisp locations and quotes. I try my best to recreate and find all these, but they do take an absolute age to find, and there is so many locations where these can pop up, and it's hard to get this, especially when you're playing in co-op. You can find a link down below in the description to Talam's channel. Make sure to visit there, give him a subscription, and tell him I sent you and show him some love for helping me out to get all of these quotes. But let's get into it, guys. Enjoy.
In retrospect, it probably wasn't the best idea to leave the most powerful artifact in this or any other dimension just lying on the fucking table. But in all fairness, Maxis was a bit of a wild card. I mean, you remember he was actually just a little drone the last time you saw him. Anyway, he's in the summoning key now. Buggered if I know how we're going to get him out. Something else I should probably clarify. This is it. The ether. The infinite. Otherwise known as Agartha. Or is it Agartha? Well, whatever way you slice it or spell it, it's the reality beyond. Beyond the world you know. Beyond your perception. Just so we're clear, I'm absolutely not talking about death. That's a whole other can of worms. Speaking of which, you know how people say when you cut a worm in half, both parts keep on living? Well, they do. Kind of, for a bit. But then one of them dies, not sure if it's the arse or the head. Well, that's the problem with worms. They're a bit short on distinguishing features. What was the point I was making? In the beginning, and believe me, there was a beginning, everything was in its proper place. Time was linear, just as it should be. But a little thing called Element 115 changed all that. Especially when, what was it again? Yes, when Group 935 came along. Once they started messing around with it, they buggered everything up. 115 shouldn't even exist in your dimension. But nonetheless, here we are. Bloody teleporters. Once Element 115 came along, the Apothecons weren't far behind. Have I mentioned them yet? The Apothecons are beings that feed on energy. Wait, that's a oversimplification. Energy is a rather broad term. I mean, it may be better to explain it as the spark of life, the purest form of energy that ever existed. Is that better? I'm not sure. Sounded a bit hippity-dippity new agey when I said it out loud. Anyway, this energy, the Apothecons, feed on it. They conquer and consume dimensions. It's kind of their thing. The ball-crushingly bad news is that their appetite is ferocious, voracious, insatiable even. They're hungry. Very hungry. Bottom line, if you don't sort shit out, they're going to gobble up this universe just like they gobbled up so many others.
Your sins serve only as an invitation to an evil beyond your imagination. I will lead the way. I will show you the path. Only through me, the Shadowman, will you find your redemption. You do realize that he's manipulated you? That's what he does. Dr. Monty is just one of the many names he's been known by. The Great Dragon, the Beast. Is this ringing any bells? Beelzebub, Lucifer, Satan, the devil. He's not even a real doctor. I would know. I know what you did, Richtofen. I know you found the Chronorium. You have suffered long enough. Why do you not embrace the cool warmth of the Apothecons? All your pain, all your suffering could be at an end. That is what you want, isn't it? Do you not see the power Dr. Monty holds over you? Do you not see you're being deceived? I can help you. Only through me can you find salvation.
Now here's the thing. I knew a bloke, and I'm talking way, way, way back. He was the sweetest, most charming individual you could ever wish to meet. He was funny too. We used to have such a good old laugh together. Honestly, my sides hurt thinking about it. He was my friend. He was my best friend. And then the Apothecons got hold of him. Since then, he's pretty much acted as their agent, zipping around the galaxy. Wait, I keep changing it, don't I? Which do you prefer, universe, multiverse, omni-fucking-verse? Oh, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? Yeah, let's get on with it. Short version is, he's no longer sweet, charming, or funny. He's what brought them here when he escaped the key. The Keepers, an ancient order who had been granted the wisdom to see beyond the limitations of their own realm. Even while the rest of mankind scrabbled around in the dirt, drinking their own piss, the Keepers took the mantle of benevolent watchers. Like the seers and sages of the old world, they could foresee how the actions of the Apothecons would lead to the destruction of life itself. The Keepers have always been here. Much like your good selves, they too were scattered and fragmented across the multiverse. They may have acted erratically, but know this. Their actions were only ever concerned with the preservation of life itself. Remember what I said before about energy. The minute you people teleported for the first time, you changed the rules. How am I supposed to keep track if you keep moving the pieces? Even when you were just a little problem brewing in the far corner of existence, I tried to throw you a bone or two. I told you this, didn't I? The magic box of weapons, the little clues here and there. I always tried to give you a little help, without drawing too much attention to myself. The thing is, though, I can't just magic things out of thin air. I have to manipulate things that already exist in your reality. Like the perk drinks. They were something originally cooked up by Group 935. I just used them for my own ends. I honestly don't even know how they work. I swear. As for the songs, don't get me started. I know the Shadowman's probably talking to you. Don't trust him. He's evil. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I bet he's saying all sorts of terrible things, spreading all kinds of rumors about me. By the way, I spell rumors with a U, after the O before the R. That's a nice little Easter egg. In fact, it's everything. It's too much information sometimes, know what I mean? I know you must be struggling to take it all in, but can you imagine how I feel? I've got heartfelt prayers for the angels, dying people's wish lists and letters to fucking Santa coming out of my bleeding ears. And it's hard to keep up, honestly. I hardly ever get any time for myself, or even just time to stand back and appreciate all the good that I've done. And now, I've got the bloody Shadowman and the apothecocky cons throwing an intergalactic spanner in the works. Here's something I just noticed. All of you died pretty much as you lived. Dempsey bravely followed orders. Takeo accepted his fate with honor. Nikolai battled with his own demons. It's funny, isn't it? Richtofen'S the only one that really didn't see it coming. I'm quite pleased with that. I made an app once. At least I think that's what you call it. It started off really simple. All people did was press a button to indicate whether or not they'd had a good day. I tracked the data for everyone in the world. I mean, it was meant to help me understand people. It worked. But even in its simplest form, it was too much to take in. It actually made me depressed. It's hard trying to please everyone. Oh, I'm getting worked up. Honestly, you have no idea how hard it's been from my side. Sorry. Keep up the good work. I'm sure you'll sort it out. If I'm honest, I'm a bit scared. Seriously. Brown trousers time. I mean, I know it's the same old story. The forces of good and evil battling it out. Yeah, but no one ever tells you how much hard work it fucking is. You know, I'm not all powerful. It's always been a struggle to stay on top of it. Now more than ever. If it had been entirely up to me, it would have been a lot more straightforward, I tell you. Do what you can, eh?
You know you really should give up. Let yourself give in. Your spirit will be absorbed into the beautiful blue light of the Apothecon's sun. You know you died a long time ago, don't you? You saw it. Didn't you realize? Are you really so foolish as to believe his lies? You do know that Richtofen is a friend of mine. I say friend, but really he's so much more than that. At one point, I almost considered him my apprentice. I mean, he did stab my reporter friend and steal the summoning key. But at one point, he did everything I told him to. I keep hoping he'll remember the promise he made to me so long ago.
You simple-minded fools! Do you really believe you have a chance? This universe belongs to the Apothecons! You will be consumed! I offered you the chance to enter the beautiful blue light, and you denied my mercy! You have followed a path marked by lies and deceit. Many others have failed. Why would you be any different? This has always only ended one way. I have foreseen it.